Hello, weary traveler from Bizarro World. Have no fear. You passed the Twilight Zone. You should be scared because you hit a fork in the road.
I love it. You guys are so great.
But luckily for you, you took the ride
Ding, ding, ding.
and rolled right into the most impressive church this side of the universe, the party pin. Welcome to my humble abode. And what we do here in this most amazing place, we read this great ass book. It's called God Said. Because God did not say that. Fight me, did not say it. But what he did say, we're going to find out. So, we are on 2 Samuel, chapter 20. Let me go ahead and take off my Devon Dudley sunglasses and tell you where we left off. Oh yeah, everybody was taking King D home. Okay. Then the vampires were arguing with the werewolves about who owned David more. David is a werewolf. He's a werewolf. And the werewolves claim him all the way through. They're like, yeah, no, we claim this guy. And then the vampires are like, yeah, but he was our king. And the werewolves were like, he was ours like 7 years before he was your king, so shut up. Right? And the werewolves won because A, David is a werewolf, and B, he was king over them first for like 7 years. Okay? That's how that happened. Oh yeah, and Absalom died. Absalom was killed by Joab. Sort of. It was a tree and Joab. Joab stabbed him while he was hung in a tree, even though David was like, please don't do that. But one guy saw Joab do it, and he wanted to run and tell King D, not knowing King D already has a grudge against Joab. But either way, King D found out that Absalom was dead, not that Joab killed him, but that Absalom had died. And then King D was like so mournful, even though there was a victory and the king was back home. He was still very sorrowful for Absalom. So, um, wait, he was sorrowful and then Joab comes in and is like, if you don't knock it off and go out there and see these people because it's supposed to be happy, I will beat you up myself. So, you know, go celebrate with the people because it's a happy day, King Face. And that's where we left off and where we will be picking up. So, if that sounds interesting to you, come this way. I have the 6 C's for whatever time it is where you are. I have cannabis, cigarettes, coffee, chairs with your name on it, cat beds, and canine space. So bring your animals. It'll be totally fun. And bring your cigarettes and your weed because that is accepted here. And it is really hot. I have no idea why I'm in a robe right now. It is really hot. What else? Oh, something cool did happen today. The baby raccoons, they finally let me feed them. And then one of them like nibbled on my finger and the other one let me pet it. It was so nice. I got to pet a raccoon and one nibbled on my finger. They licked my toes. They ate turkey. They do not like cornflakes, but they like turkey. But one of the raccoons refused to eat turkey or only eat cat food. Doesn't even like the dog food, it likes the cat food. Okay. So we are on chapter 20. Wait, let me take this hot ass robe off. Maybe if I take this robe off, I won't be so hot. And then I won't have to take the wig off. Because I know how you guys love this wig. My dad hates this wig, but I think it's amazing. Okay. So we are on chapter 20, and it says, now a worthless fellow happened to be there whose name was Sheba, a Benjamite, and he blew the trumpet and said, we have no portion in David, nor do we in the son of Jesse. Every man to his tents. Okay, but they were just happy about, okay, anyway. So all the men withdrew from following David and followed Sheba. But the men of Judah remained steadfast to their king from the Jordan to Jerusalem. Then David came to his house at Jerusalem, and the king took the 10 women, the concubines whom he had left, and placed them under guard, and provided them with sustenance, but did not go into them. They were shut up until the day of their death, living as widows. Like it was their fault. Do you think they enjoyed it, David? They were literally forcible sexy time. They had no control of that. I don't know. Even if they made noises, try to have sex and not make noise. Okay. And the king said to Amasa, call out the men of Judah for me within, no, call out the men of Judah for me within 3 days and present yourself. So Amasa went to call out the men of Judah, but he delayed longer than the set time. And David said to Abishai, now Sheba, the son of Bichri, will do us more harm than Absalom. Take your Lord's servant and pursue him, lest he find for himself fortified cities and escape from our sight. Okay, wait a minute. So Joab's men went out after him, along with the Kiriathites and Pelethites, all the mighty men, and they went out from Jerusalem to pursue Sheba. And when they were at the large stone in Gibeon, Amasa came to meet them. Now Joab was dressed in military attire, and over it was a belt with a sword fastened at his waist. And he went forward, and it fell out. And Joab said to Amasa, is it well with you, my brother? And took him by the beard and kissed him. But Amasa was not on guard against the sword which was in Joab's hand. And he struck him with the belly, and his guts poured to the ground. But Joab did not strike him again, and he died. Then Joab and Abishai, his brother, pursued Sheba, the son of Bichri. Now there stood by him one of Joab's young men and said, whoever favors Joab and whoever is for David, let him follow Joab. But Amasa lay wallowing in his blood in the middle of the highway. And when the man saw, all the people stood still. He removed Amasa from the highway and threw a garment over him. And everyone who came by him stood still. As soon as he was removed from the highway, all the men passed on after Joab to pursue Sheba. Now he went through all the tribes, from Abel to Beth Maacah, and the Berites now went through all the tribes, from Aven to Beth Maacah, and the Berithites came and gathered together. And they came and besieged him in Abel Beth Maacah. And they cast up a mound against the city and stood by the rampart. But a wise woman said, the fuck are you guys doing? And Joab approached her and she said, are you Joab? And Joab was like, yeah. I'm not going to ask you how you know that, but yeah, I'm Joab. She's like, the fuck you doing, yo? Like, we got ways to do things around here. What are you doing? And Joab was like, there's a dude Sheba in there. He wants to fight King D and shit or something. I don't know, but there's a guy named Sheba in there and we need to kill him. And she's like, why the fuck didn't you say that? Hold on. And then she said, is anybody here called Sheba? And he's like, ah. She's like, cut his head off. And they cut his head off and they gave it to Joab and he went back on his way. Uh, and now it's going to tell us who. Okay. Joab was over all the army. Benaniah was over the Kiria and Pileathites. Adoram was over the forced labor. Jehoshaphat was the recorder. Shiva was the scribe. Zadok and Abiathar were priests. And Ira was also a priest to David. Dun, dun, dun. So, we're going to go to chapter 21. Yeah. We're going to go to chapter 21. So, that's, man, I started my stream later because everybody shows up later, but then I make my stream later and nobody shows up. This streaming shit is getting too hard. I don't know. Which people were here? Somebody will come probably. Okay. So we're going to go on to chapter 21. Now, there was a famine in the days of David for 3 years, year after year. And David sought the presence of the Lord. And the Lord said,
Hello, David. Look, I rewound because I think I missed something. So, yeah, I'm pissed off at Saul right now. Again, I rewound. So, this famine is because of Saul and his bloody house because he put the Gibeonites to death. Because that's the part I missed. So, I just rewounded that part and realized that I'm pissed about that. So you're getting a famine because I'm mad about something he did. Yeah, I know it don't make any sense to you, but fuck you. This song's about me exclusively. Does anybody know what song that's from? It's an ICP song. Anyway. Anyway. Yeah, I'm mad about Saul because he killed a Gibeonite. Right? So,
the king called for the Gibeonites and spoke to them. The Gibeonites were not part of the tribes, but they were a remnant of the Amorites. And the vampires made a covenant with them. But Saul had sought to kill them in his zeal for the vampires and for Judah. Man, that was a big sneeze. Sorry, at least my wig didn't fall off. Okay. So, thus David said to them, "What do you need me to do for you? How can I make you happy so God will leave my people alone?" Because apparently this is for some shit that happened a long time ago. So, what do you want? And the Gideonites said, "We don't need silver or gold with Saul or his house, nor is it for us to put any man to death," he said. And David said, well, whatever you want, I'll do it. And they said, "The man who consumed us and who planned to exterminate us from remaining within the borders, let 7 men of his son." This is no fun. This is absolutely no fun. Okay. To exterminate us. Okay. "Let 7 men from his sons be given to us, and we will hang them before the Lord in Gibeah, the Gibeah of Saul, the chosen of the Lord." And King David's like, "Okay, as long as it's not my kids or Jonathan's kid." So the king spared the king spared Mephi. So the king took the 2 sons of Ritzpah and took the sons of Ritzpah, Armoni and Mephi-shobeth. Okay. Oh, Mephi-bosheth, which is another one. This is one of Saul's sons. And 5 sons of Merab, the daughter of Saul, whom she bore to Adriel, the son of Barzillai. Then he gave them into the hands. So he took Saul's horse kids and Saul's daughter's kids and gave them over to the Gibeonites to be hanged to death. And Ritzpah took sackcloth and spread it for herself on the rock from the beginning of harvest until it rained on them from the sky. And she allowed neither birds to rest on them by the day or beasts of the field by night. When it was told to David what Ritzpah was doing, David went and took the bones of Saul and Jonathan from the men of Jabesh Gilead, who had stolen them from the open square of Bethshan, where the Philistines had hanged them, and brought up the bones of Saul and Jonathan. And they gathered the bones of those who had been hanged, and they buried the bones of Saul and Jonathan in the country of Benjamin, in the grave of Kish, Saul's father. And after that, God was moved by entreaty for the land. Now, when the Philistines were at war again with the vampires, David went down and his servants with him, and they fought against the Philistines, and David became weary. Dun, dun, dun. Wonder how wearied he can get. Then Ishbi-benob, who was among the descendants of the giant, the weight whose spear was 100 shekels of bronze, and was girded with a new sword. He was girded with a new diaper, and he intended to kill David. But Abishai helped him and struck the Philistine and killed him. Then the men of David said, "You will never, and I mean never, come to battle again. Ever, David. Never, ever, ever. If there was a never, ever, it would be ever, ever, ever for you." Now it came about after this that there was war again with the Philistines at Gob. Then Sibbecai the Hushmite struck down Seth, who was among the descendants of the giants. And there was war again, and Elinanan, the son of Jair-Edom, killed Goliath, the Gittite. And there was war at Gath again. There was a man of great stature who had 24 fingers and toes, and he was born to the giant. And when he defiled Israel, Jonathan, the son of Jimei, Jonathan, David's nephew, struck him down. These were born to the giant in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David and his servants. Dun, dun, dun. Well, okay. Okay. Hey, drunken wizard. Listen, nobody's here. Nobody's here. Actually, you were the only one to show up. Do you want to smoke a cigarette with me real quick? And then I'll read some more of this book. You showed up right at the perfect time because I was about to quit. Well, for the night or whatever. But you showed up and you saved my mentality. I am great. Oh, listen. The baby raccoons. I can they're big enough that I can stand up around them now. One of them nibbled on my finger. The other one let me pet it. And they took turkey from me. Yeah. Except for one did not. Mm-mm. He wanted nothing to do with any kind of human food. He only wanted to eat the cat food. He never wants human food. But I can't believe the little one let me pet it. I don't think I'm ever going to try to pet it again. Yeah. So what have you guys been doing today? No, they're not that big. They're still little babies. Look, their tails are like that big. They're all fat and shit, but their tails are so tiny. You know how a pecker looks when it's cold? It's kind of how their tails look. Their tails do not fit the size of their bodies. Their tails are so small, but they're so fucking fat. It's so cool. And the little baby groundhogs, they haven't really got that big yet either. But I haven't seen them in a couple days. So, what have you guys been doing? How was your day? Where the hell did my Bible even go? Did I seriously lose my Bible? Like literally right in front of me? Oh, there it is. No, I didn't. What about Q&A time? Because this next chapter is going to be really long. Today was great. Do anything awesome? Man, waiting for Q&A from you is kind of nerve-wracking. I might be sweating. Yep. I'm sweating and losing my wig. I'm sweating my wig off. Passed it down some wisdom. Ooh, passing down wisdom can be hard work if people don't want the wisdom. But they'll get it when they're older. That's what you have to wait for. That man, you were right, and be like, Yeah, I thank you. Because of all the hats that I have, I feel like this one's probably the less offensive hat. Because there's my other hat. My Trump hat. You know, I want to meet somebody famous on YouTube one time. Hey, drunken wizard, can I ask you a question? Hmm, I think that's why my Bible videos lasted as long as they did. Well, are still lasting. Is because there goes my fucking coffee. There goes my coffee. See, this is why I need the Johnny Depp mega pint. See, I think I can always have these pussy cups, you know? These cups that will just flip over if you fucking touch it, even a little bit. Like, oh, you touched me, it's time to fall over. Mhm. Bullshit ass cups. Whatever. I swear to God, these cups are more bitch made than people. People are highly bitch made. Some people. Did you see Henry? Henry's not here. He got a job at Taco Bell. He did. He works third shift at Taco Bell. And he got a car and he'll be able to drive it tomorrow. Now we just got to find him a place to live and a girlfriend. And he'll be all set to start his life. And it'll be so cool. And then I'll have that on my resume of good things I've done. I've helped Henry. Actually, I should say Dustin helped Henry. I just yell at Henry. But I wanted Ray to come this weekend, but he did not come. I wish he would have, though. I do need to go get more coffee at table 1. Give me just a second. Right, he was the other guy that was here with Henry, my caretaker. Remember? You said, is Henry my butler? And I said, no, Ray's was more of a butler like 20 years ago. to me, but he said, call me a caretaker. So he was my caretaker for a long fucking time. So, are we doing Q&A? Oh, hold on. It's 11:11. Dear God, please save America. Please save Trump. Please help me. Please help Drunken Wizard and his lovely ladies. But please save America. And please save Trump. Amen. Yeah, you remember? Yeah. He's the one who's deaf. Why does my arm hurt? I think I'm going to have a heart attack. Amen indeed. Like, God needs to save Trump. Well, I suppose he doesn't need to, but I mean, it would be very helpful if he did. You're welcome. So give me some Q&A other than who's Ray. Come on, we got a few more minutes and then I gotta go to bed. That's all part of the plan. I trust the plan. I do. I trust the plan. Mm. I have a question for you. Hit me, baby. Hit me. Make it the most inappropriate question. I love inappropriate questions because I can answer them appropriately. Why does my arm hurt though, for real? Why do I need prayer and worship? So we feel special because when you're doing shit, how often do you remember God? Never, because you're busy doing shit. So you have to have time carved out for God. And we know God doesn't know everything. If you go back and watch this from the beginning, you find out God rewound because he thinks he missed something during Saul. And it turns out he did miss something during Saul. So he gave David's kingdom 3 years of famine because he was pissed off at Saul. God's name is jealousy. I don't think it's ego. I think God's name being what it is exactly what it is. God does not want you to forget him because of your everyday bullshit. His name is jealousy, and he is a jealous God. So he purposely set time off for himself. It's called the Sabbath. You're not supposed to do anything but think of God that day. Although none of us really follow any of the Sabbath rules because we make Sabbath family day, even though it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a solemn day, but we make it family day. Because it's like what Jesus said. Man wasn't made for Sabbath. Sabbath was made for the man. Why would God make Sabbath for a man? Because he's so busy doing everything 6 days a week that he forgets about God. So Saturday would be the day for God. Another answer be right here. Hi, welcome. Press like and subscribe and chat in the chat. We are doing Q&A with Sage. So, feel free to ask me a question. We're waiting for Drunken Wizard to get back with another question. But if you have one in the meantime, I don't know. And as much as everybody likes to say God knows everything, I think God purposely doesn't pay attention to what's happening. I think God purposely doesn't pay attention because nobody listens to him. Like this whole Sabbath thing, that's supposed to be a God day, but people make it a family day. They make it a do shit day. And it's supposed to be a day of doing nothing but thinking about God and, preparing your sacrifice and stuff. Hi, everyone. Welcome. We are having Q&A right now. If you have a question, feel free to ask it in the chat. We're waiting for Drunken Wizard to get back to ask another question, but feel free to ask one in the meantime. Right now, the question is, why does God need prayer and worship when they already know everything? I don't think God is a they. Well, actually, that's not true at all. God is a they. God is a they, per se. One half of him is always asleep, and one half of him is always awake. He has a good side and a bad side. And they talk to each other, but they don't know what each other is doing. What's the theory? I lost 2 viewers that fast. See? Offending people all my life. But people that get offended are people that don't think. If you get offended by something that small, you're probably insecure in your religion. Satan's short season. Heard of it? No. No, but I don't really pay any attention to anything outside of my reading of the Bible because I don't want to be plastered down with other people's opinions. Like, I've even quit looking at shit from other religions because I want to have my own opinion. And I've been reading this book for 5 years and I'm not even sure of my opinion. Like, my original opinion was the Bible needs to be called Fuck Around and Find Out. Like, for real. So, what is the Satan short season? What is that? Oh, yeah, I lost a subscriber. I forgot. I offended somebody else, I suppose. Probably not even being offensive. All right, well, let's look at it. Satan's short season. Yo, yeah, I know about this, and it's not Satan, it's Anaki. Anakim something. It's actually Anaki. It's the Norse god. And we read about him in Genesis. Well, not exactly. We pick up in Genesis after the giant dodgeball fight in space when they put Anaki in the box. And well, I was thinking that when I read that, we're probably at the 10,000 year mark for him to be let out of his box. And it was Obama. Oh, the thing, Satan's short season. I didn't know that's what it was called. But it's in Revelations. The one they're calling Satan in the Satan short season is a god called Anaki. He's a Norse god. And he was put into a box for 1,000 years because he was super fucking evil. And all the gods, well, his wife, all the mini gods got together and hurt the dad god and locked him in a box for 10,000 years. And in Revelations, he comes out of the box or is preparing to come out of the box, something like that. But anyway, we are probably at around the time for the guy to come out of the box, or he already came out of the box and it was Obama. But his name is Anaki. He's a Norse god. The Enumea list comes right after that, or something of the sort. And the Enuma Elish, I think, is about that. I've never read the Enuma Elish, but I have it. And when we get done, we'll read it. Is that who you were asking about, CNA? Anaki? It's out of the box. Yeah, it was Obama. And now it's Iran. Anaki controls Iran. I don't know. We're in the middle of a risk game with the gods. We are nothing but risk pieces to these gods in heaven. They're playing the game's kicked up. They've actually picked back up on the game. They're sitting around the game board smoking their god-sized cigarettes and drinking their god-sized ambrosia and playing Risk. Like, what do you think, drunken wizard? Do you think, like, what do you think about all that? Christ's 1,000-year reign isn't even close to 1,000 years. Would he die like 2,000 years ago? Yeah. And how old is the earth? Like 24 million years old? For Satan to deceive that it hasn't happened. Yeah, but it really hasn't happened though, because none of us have been happy in a long time. None of us have had a peaceful feeling ever, you know, like the world isn't happy and joyous. It's not a chorus of kumbaya. So, and really thinking about Christ is really gangster, and Christians would not be as pussified as they are if they really knew Christ. Christ's reign has not happened because nobody is doing what Christ would do. And that's call out the people that say God told them to kill their children. It'd be people that tell you Christ is all about love and he loves everybody and he'll be nice to everybody. No, the fuck he's not. Have you ever met Christ? If you've met Christ, you would know that is not true. Christ is one of the most gangster people I have ever read about, and he's funny. Like, forget about it. Christ would not be friends with any of these Christians. He would walk right by them. The scripture said it would happen soon. Yeah. The scripture says a lot of things. And Revelation is, it revealed what happened, not reveal what's gonna happen. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. Revelation has revealed what happened. It's revealing to you the beginning. Everybody wants to know, what's our beginning? But they read the beginning like it's the end. It's the beginning. And also, think about the time that shit was written. That dude was so angry. He was doing nothing but talking shit. That whole book. They threw him on an island. They boiled him in oil 3 times and then threw him on an island with a pencil and a piece of paper. And that dude did nothing but talk shit. And it was all about the fall of the people that, what would it be? Romans. It'd be all about all of those people that he's fucking mad at. He's not talking about a whole race of people. No, he's literally talking to the people he's mad at. He is talking shit. He is talking so much shit. And nobody wants to look at that book for what it is. It's nothing but John talking shit about everybody and saying the most horriblest things he can think of that's going to happen to them. Like, I have a real problem with the New Testament because of shit like that. Because people are like, well, the New Testament. It's not a rabbit hole. It's literally that dude's doing nothing but talking shit in that book. We can read it. Give me on a Sunday. Not today. We got a plan for it. And I'll read Revelations. I've only read it one time. I've been scared to read this book my whole life. It turns out it is the most shit talky book ever. Like, it's like, oh, poor John, you were so sour. He is mad as hell at those Romans. We'll cover that when we get to. Okay. We'll get there. Hopefully shortly. No. 1776, I think, is when God took over. It's when God decided to pick his new people, his adopted children, which happens to be America. Hey, no, have as much fun as you want. Sorry, I'm sitting like that, not because I'm mad, but my arm really fucking hurts. really bad. But I don't think 1776 was Satan. I think that was God choosing his new people. Well, his new adopted children, which is why those terrible ass God people hate Americans and why they tried to take over. Well, still do try to take over and suck us dry of everything because they think God won't like us anymore if we don't have stuff. Because that's how cockroaches and rats are. Well, actually, they're like a hybrid, a tribrid rat snake with cockroach legs. They're like that. Mm. Snaky, sneaky, they steal shit. They're slimy. They make drool. Oh, and they snot a lot. These people are gross. Sorry. But God people are terrible. These people are fucking horrible. They made God cry. I cannot. I cannot with these people. Who are you to make God cry? Like, who the hell do you think you are? But on that note, I do have to go to bed soon. So, when you're ready for bed, let me know, drunken wizard, because I'll hang up right after that. All right, I'll check it out at the end of the stream. I see it's right there. Oh my God. Where do the saints come from? No one knows. That's not a God thing. I'm sorry, saints are not a God thing. Okay, I'm going to play that. Hold on. Okay, first off, that's not a fucking thing. That is not a fucking thing. Okay? You cannot physically fight a spiritual battle. That is not how that happens. Look, that is not how that happens. That is not how that happens. This guy makes me. That is not how that happens. You cannot fight a spiritual war physically. Come down here on Earth to Angel Boot Camp so you can decide whether you want to be good or bad. If you want to be of the world or in the world, right? And you get to choose that. And if you stay good or you ask for forgiveness, then when you get happy, you pass on and then you go fight in the army of the Lord. You first have to come down here to Hell's Waiting Room, Angel Boot Camp, and make it to God, make it to happy. And God loves happy. Happy is God's thing. So if you come down here and you are able to be happy, then you pass on and then you go up there to fight in the battle. But down here is where you get prepared for that. Nobody's gonna come and round us up physically and like, yeah, go fight this spiritual battle with your physical body. It's not how the fuck that works. That's agitating that people really think that. Have they ever read Das Bible before? No, because they think that they're gonna go get a fucking sword and fight physical Satan. That is not a fucking thing. It's not even a battle of hearts, it's a battle of spirit. I know, but why is that? I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. What I'm saying is the book clearly states it. Jesus clearly states it. It is clearly stated that we are in a spiritual battle, not a physical battle. We are in battle in the spirit. The spirit. Only God knows the heart. And if your heart is soured, you will never be happy and you will never meet God. The whole thing with meeting God is happiness. You have to find happiness in your suffering. Also clearly stated, find happiness in your suffering. That's how you find God. You get happy. You meet Jesus at your lowest point, and he walks with you to get you to the meaning and the purpose and the happiness to go see God. And then you are in the army of the Lord with your home prize, you know? But again, I'm not saying I'm right or I'm wrong. I'm saying that's how I interpreted it, and it says it pretty clearly. Like, it states it very clearly. But it also says, Jesus also says something that nobody understands because they're like, I'll see my love in heaven again. It's like, did you hear what Jesus said about that? Because nobody's going to know anybody. You're not going to know each other when you get to heaven. There's no point in holding on to the dream that someone in the spirit world is going to fucking remember you, because it's not how that happens. I love you guys too. But before I get my blood pressure up anymore, whose fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. So, are we ready for bed? Ooh, Dustin's so late. It must be bedtime. I hear him moving. Damn. Can you see that hole? Maybe only I can see that hole because I know it's there. Sorry. I love you guys so much. Now, shit, something happened. Okay. Now, let's give the pillow some head and the sheets some ass and have the sweetest dreams ever. I love you guys so much. Good night.